Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Josephine Asma, and I'm currently an intern with EDUC8AFRICA. I'd first of all want to apologize for the delay in time. And I'd also want to welcome you to EDUC8AFRICA's webinar dubbed Cybersecurity 101. I'm sure we are all eager to start the webinar, but shortly I want to talk about EDUC8AFRICA briefly. Now, EDUC8AFRICA was founded in the year 2016 to provide training to both blue chip and small companies in the field of information technology, that is IT. But having been given the opportunity to receive training from IT gurus at their very young age, that is our founders, they vowed to give back to society. Thus, the birth of EDUC8AFRICA's corporate social responsibility, which is called Grow with EDUC8AFRICA, founded in 2019. Now, Grow with EDUC8AFRICA has or gives out scholarships for international certifications like CH, CND, CHFI, among many others. Now, these scholarships are secured with the support from companies both in Ghana and also outside Ghana. So that's briefly about EDUC8AFRICA and the Grow with EDUC8AFRICA, which we are all benefiting from right now because of the 70 to 80% scholarships that are given to students in the university. We pray and we hope that you would enjoy the webinar. And I'd also want to introduce Ms. Alexandra Boating, the CEO of EDUC8AFRICA. It seems Miss Alexandra Boating is not with us at the moment, so we'll go on to introduce our facilitators for tonight. Now, our facilitator for tonight is someone who is well endowed in the field of cybersecurity, has very wide and broad experience in the field of programming, among many others. Now, audience, without much ado, I would like to introduce our facilitator for today, Mr. Newman Morty. And he would also be assisted by Ms. Kimberly appear. Thank you very much, and please do enjoy the webinar.
Thank you. All right, hello everyone. Am I audible enough?
Yes,
am I audible enough?
Yes,
all right.
I think it's okay.
Yes. All right. So I am here with Kimberly. And we are actually going to introduce you to cybersecurity. The webinar is that Cybersecurity 101, your first cybersecurity lesson. All right. So what are we going to learn in this cybersecurity training? First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Newman Morte. I am a security enthusiast. I'll call myself a security enthusiast. And I have some experience, at least some experience in security. I'm certified in CH, also gone through CHFI, and I am also on my other certifications such as Azure and ISO certifications. Now, I am here with Kimberly Ampia. The name is Ampia, not Apia, all right? I'm here with Kimberly Emanuela Ampia, and she will also be joining me for this webinar. Now, straight up to the webinar. What are we going to learn in this webinar? We're actually going to touch on about four topics, okay? I don't want you to actually get confused along the way. So we actually make known to you that, hey, you are all supposed to join with what? A laptop. Now, why did you ask to join with a laptop? We will provision certain operating systems for you that, hey, you can try along as we are going through this webinar. So what are we going to touch on? Let's see what we're going to touch on. So we are going to go through the fundamentals, all right? It is called Cybersecurity 101, not Cybersecurity in-depth, all right? So Cybersecurity 101, we are going to make it as minimal as possible for you to understand every basic you need to actually prepare yourself into security. We're going to touch on operating systems. We are going to talk about the hackers obsessed operating system, which is the Linux operating system. We'll also move on to talk about networking fundamentals or networking basics. We understand at least IP addresses. We understand what is a DHCP? If you've heard of it before, we'll talk about DNS. We'll talk about it in depth when we get there to the networking basics. We'll also talk about cybersecurity and cybersecurity career path. Hey, I know most of you are students are confused about security. Hey, what am I going to do in security? I don't know programming. I can't do this. I can't do that. So we'll have a little in-depth of security, explain to you anything you need to understand in security, at least to the layman. And then once we are done, we'll do a little demo just for those who like to be technical, all right? Just for those who like to be technical. And through that demo, we explain certain concepts. We explain how a hacker can actually structure an attack onto your system or even to your organization, all right? So are we ready now?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. I have some response. So I have some rules for this webinar as we're about to start. Please again, if you are in noisy area and you ask a question, please type your questions in the chat, and Josephine, who is the moderator, will forward all the questions to me. All right. If I ask for all the questions and your question is not answered or is not given to me to answer, please be patient and we can answer all the questions. At the end of the webinar, we are going to mail you your answers as well, and then also try to actually answer all the questions here. Okay. So with much ado, I'm going to introduce Kimberly. Kimberly, you're welcome. Kimberly is going to touch on Linux operating system. Why do we love Linux? So Kimberly, over to you now for Linux operating system. Thank you guys, and I'll see you at the other end of the lessons. All right, bye.
Thank you very much, Newman. Please, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, so I'll be introducing you to Linux and why hackers love Linux so much. Can you please move on to the next slide? Okay, so what is Linux? Linux is basically an operating system, and you would ask what exactly is an operating system. So an operating system is a program that manages resources and other applications on a computer. So it sits between the hardware and the software, and it manages resources, it manages memory, it manages other stuff which the computer would be using. So it supports basic functions of a computer. When you first load your, when you first put on your computer system, the bootloader loads the operating system, which could be Kali, that's Linux, which could be Windows, and other operating systems. And applications interact with the operating system. So basically that gives you a fair overview of what Linux is. And Linux has a lot of distributions. We have Red Hat, we have Linux itself, we have Ubuntu, we have Fedora, etc. So there are many distributions of the Linux operating system. So that basically explains what an operating system is. An operating system would manage processes. It would manage allocation and deallocation of memory. It would also like manage the file system. So we got to the components of an operating system. So you can see from the slide that there are 7 main components of the operating system. I'll start with, sorry, please, someone said the person could not hear me. Am I audible enough? Hello?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
we can hear you.
we can hear you. You are
Okay,
audible.
I can hear you.
We
You're
can hear
audible.
you.
Okay, so thank you very much for the response. A bootloader is basically a small program that helps to load an operating system into memory. So when I started explaining what an operating system is, I told you that when you switch on your computer, the first thing that happens is the bootloader loads the operating system into memory. So when you switch on your PC, you see there's this temporary black screen before the operating system starts. That pause there is your bootloader loading the operating system into memory. So without your bootloader, the operating system, which is Linux, Windows, whatever it is, will not be loaded into your memory. And when you first turn on your system, the BIOS, that's the basic input output system, locates the configured bootable media and reads instructions from the master boot record, that's the MBR. So the MBR is what contains the bootloader.
All right, guys. So can you give us a minute? She's faced with a little issue. I will take her from here for her, and we continue. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, you're audible now. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, you are audible, please.
Oh, okay. The next component of an operating system will be the kernel. So basically, for Linux, the Linux name is the name given to the kernel itself. And what the kernel does is that is the main component of the Linux operating system, and it interfaces between the computer's hardware and its processors. So it basically communicates between the two, that's the hardware and its processors, and it manages the resources as efficiently as possible. So the kernel is the core system, and as it has been seen on the slide, it manages the CPU, memory, and peripheral devices. The kernel is named, with the kernel system, right? With a kernel, you can liken it to a seed inside a shell. So basically, it exists within an operating system. So the operating system is the shell, and the kernel is what is the seed that controls the major functions of the hardware. Then we go to the init system. So basically, it's a subsystem that So basically what the init system is the first process, right, that's executed by the kernel at good time. And it is executed until the system shuts down completely. And when we say a daemon, daemons are long-running background processes that answer requests from services. And you usually do not interact with the daemon. As such, it is detached from the keyboard at good time. And I'm hearing myself. It is detached. Hello. I keep hearing myself.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So the daemon is non-interactive. So unlike how you can interface with it, you enter keyboard commands and then you get a response. That's not what happens with it. It's detached from the keyboard and then the display. So it runs in the background and then services respond to requests. So the difference between a daemon and then a service is that some services are interactive, but the daemon is not. And when we go to the graphical server basically provides a graphical interface, more like a subsystem that renders or displays images and shapes on a computer system. So even it's not compulsory for operating systems to have graphical interfaces, but when you have a graphical interface, it's a big help because users interact more with what they see. So you'd realize that one of the reasons Windows became more popular in those days than Linux was because Linux was solely terminal based, like command line, and Windows was more of a graphical user interface. So it allowed users to interact easily and more quickly in quotes than using the terminal, because with the terminal you'd have to kind of memorize a set of instructions to be able to do certain processes, which was easier with the graphical interface because you just click the mouse and then you go about your business. So applications are basically running programs. So what an application is that it's a set of instructions and it's designed to carry out specific tasks. Everyone here has interacted with an application of some form. Zoom is an application, WhatsApp is an application. So they assist with personal, educative, and business tasks. Can we please go to the next slide? Hello. So one question that will be on everyone's mind is why exactly do hackers love the Linux operating system so much? And one reason why we hackers love the Linux operating system is because it's open source. So Linux is open source, unlike Windows. It basically means that it's available to us. So basically, as a hacker, what you'd want to do is you'd want to change or manipulate the operating system as you please. And Linux gives us that opportunity. It gives us that privilege. It gives us that comfort to do as we please with the operating system. And because it's open source, we've gotten a lot of different versions of Linux. That's what I stated before, the different distributions we have of Linux. And then if you are trying to make a system operate in ways that are not intended by the user, being able to manipulate the source code is essential. And another reason why hackers would love the Linux operating system is because it's transparent. Transparency here means that you can see the working parts of the operating system. You can see the working parts of the operating system. So if you want to hack effectively, you must know and understand your operating system. You must also, to a large extent, know and understand the machine you're hacking. So once you get into your target machine and the target is running a version of Linux, you should be able to break it down, understand it, and maneuver your way through it. Linux gives us that transparency. Unlike, so with Microsoft hides a lot of its inner workings. It hides the inner workings of its operating system. And because it is not open source, you can't easily find a lot of information about it. And you never really know what is under the hood of a Windows system, unlike a Linux system. And the next one is that most hacking tools are written for Linux, and that is very true. We have an entire operating system that's Kali Linux, which has a lot of hacking tools. And I can say with my chest boldly, I can say boldly that over 90%. Could you please mute yourself? Mohammed. Thank you. So I can say proudly that over 90% of all hacking tools are written for Linux. There are a few exceptions that will be Kane and Able, which is used for password recovery, and that's for the Windows system. And I think another tool would be Wiktool, and that is used for web server assessment. But then to a large extent, most hacking tools were written for Linux, and I use them and are available to you on Kali. So tools like Metasploit and Nmap, which you would interact with as the session goes on, you'd realize when we port them to Windows, not all their capabilities are transferred. Yes, and the last reason why we hackers love Linux is because it's granular. So granular here means that we have like infinite control over the system. Unlike Windows systems that control only what Microsoft allows you to control, I think when you get into the hacking sphere, you'd realize this. Windows just allows you to do only what it allows you to do. But with Linux, everything can be controlled by the terminal at the most basic of levels. And a lot of scripting languages can also be used, and they are very efficient and simple. So if you have your laptops, let's all go to the link that has been described below. If you could type the link, I'm giving you 5 minutes. We have a Linux interface for you, which you can interact with.
Okay, so everyone, kindly check your chat. We have shared the link in there, okay?
So I'm going to assume that we've all clicked on the link, so we should be seeing a Linux interface. And please, can I get a response if you are there? So there are a few commands in the slides that have been provided to us, and we would want you to have some feel with those commands. because it will speak better and it will practicalize the entire experience for you once you start it. Can we please go to the command?
All right, guys, we are still giving just 2 minutes for all of you to join that Linux seminar. We are still giving 2 minutes for all of you to join. All right, so please, the time is still clicking. All right, so please join via that link. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So the first command we'll be interacting with is who am I? So on your Linux machines, your Linux instances, please enter who am I? WHOAMI, who am I? Let me enter it in the chat. So what this does is it tells us which user we are. It tells us who we are, which user has been logged in at that particular moment. Could you please enter in the chat who you are? So I know everyone is interacting with the Linux system. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a folder or a directory. And to do that, the command is make directory. That's MKDIR. And then we add the name of the folder or directory we want. So or anyone. So the name of the folder I'll be using will probably be Kim. So this is how it's going to look like. It's in the chat. Oh, how do we open the terminal? So when you go to your Linux machines, oh, mine is frozen. Mine is frozen. Interesting. Newman, could you please show them from your side how to open the terminal? I was going to do it from here, but mine is frozen. Okay, one thing you can do is when you, so the lower right, the lower left corner, there's a square with a lot of dots. When you click on it, you can search for terminal and it's going to show the terminal. And you click on terminal and then it's going to come up. Please, have you been able to get a terminal? On the lower left side, there's a square. It's looking like a grid. So you can search for terminal there and then click on it. So when you are done, you enter who am I to know the user you are. Then you create a new folder or directory by entering the command mkdir and then the name of the directory. Once you are done, the next thing we are going to do is create a file. And to create a file, we are going to use touch. Is anyone lost? Okay. Please, at what point are you lost? Have you been able to open the terminal? Okay, I'm going to go over everything from scratch. But first, I want to know if you've been able to open the terminal. Would I have to demonstrate it again? Okay. Newman, could you please demonstrate opening the terminal once again?
All right, thank you. Am I audible? All right, thank you.
Yes,
So
yeah.
guys, this is how you open a terminal on a Linux operating system. I am running an Ubuntu operating system. That is also a distribution of Linux operating system. So how do you open a terminal on a Linux operating system? Right. So there are two ways to actually open, okay? Now, I have customized my operating system. In your operating system, you would not see it this way. In your operating system, you would see a bar to the left of your screen. My bar is to the bottom. Do you all see my bar here? My bar is to the bottom. Basically the same thing, just changing position, okay? So you will see yours to your left screen of your screen, okay? The left side of your screen. It's a big, long, in fact, it's big enough for you to see, long bar. Now, you will see on the icons in the bar, you will see something like a button, which has squares in there. It's for menu, okay? It's for menu. Now, for a shortcut, you can click on the Windows button. Just click on the Windows button and that will also open for you. It will open the menu for you. So how do you open it now? The first method is actually to go there, click on that button, the show application button. It shows all the applications installed in your system, okay? Okay, so how do you then open it from here? So you just click here, show applications. Once you show applications, it allows you to search for any applications you have installed on your system. So from here, you click on the search to type terminal, and voila, you have your terminal. This is the first way to open a terminal. Now, what is the second method to open a terminal? The second method to open a terminal is to use keyboard, key combinations. Let me say it that way, key combinations. What are the key combinations? By default, you can, in an Ubuntu system, you can open your terminal using a key combination control, hold down the control, press on the shift, hold down the shift, and press on T. All right, and that should pop up your terminal. Hold on, pop up my terminal. Okay, so that is open. Now, if that doesn't open on your system, you can try another combination, which most likely should work out. Control, Alt, and T. All right, and voila, I have it here. Okay, so in mine, it is Control, Alt, T. Some of you may find yours to be Control, Shift, T. That is dependent on if you have changed the configurations or the default key combinations. Okay, so by default, I think it should be what? Control Alt T. So Control Alt T will open. Hey, it opens, and opens. All right. So that is how you open a terminal in a Linux operating system, specifically Ubuntu system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Newman. Whilst we are waiting for the others to come on board, I saw a question in the chat that said, why Caliber, not any other one? So the reason why a lot of hackers veer more towards the Kali distribution is because it has all the tools pre-installed. So with the other Linux distributions, and the Kali Linux was made specifically for hacking. That's how come it has all the tools installed. With the other ones, you'd have to manually install them every single time. Like every single time, you have to install a new tool. You have to do everything basically from scratch and code. But with this thing being available to you, you kind of have like your environment readily available, kind of. Please, do we understand why? So we are going to first enter who am I. Again, who am I is going to tell us which user is logged in at the moment. So the user logged in is Optimus Prime. Please, do we follow? Have you been able to see our users? So the next command we are going to do is create a folder. So we are going to create a folder.
Hello, please. I'm sorry. When the gentleman was demonstrating how to open a terminal, I had a little issues with my network. Can you kindly do that again for me? I'm begging.
Control Alt plus T. That's the easiest way, I think. Try Control Alt plus T. Newman, would you want to do another demonstration?
All right, so let me do it for the last time. All right. All right, let me do it for the last time. Okay, so I said there are two options, there are two ways to actually open a terminal in your Linux operating system. One, I am working from an Ubuntu operating system, which is also a distribution of Linux operating system. Hope I'm audible. Now, how do you open it? I said two ways. The first one is actually to open it via your menu, search for the terminal, and voila, you have your terminal. The second way is to use key combinations on your keyboard. Control Alt T. Some may find theirs to be Control Shift T. So let's have a look at the first option. Now, how do you find that button to open your menu? There are two ways to find that. Now, most of you, for the link we've given you, you will find it at the left side of your screen. It's a very long bar. You find it at the last, as the last button. It's like white many squares together. When you highlight your mouse on there, it says what? Show applications. It shows you all the applications installed on your operating system. Okay, so I have customized mine to be at the bottom of my screen. All right, that is how I want it. It's my flavor. So I move my mouse here. You can all see it, show applications. I click on show applications and I search for what? Terminal. Just type terminal and here you go. Your terminal is available to you. Now, what is the second way to open it? The second way to open it is to use key combinations, as I said earlier. How? Let me exit this, but let me exit this. Okay, let me close this first. Let me minimize this because we're using it. So how do I use it? Control Alt T. Press Control, hold it, press Alt, hold it down, then add what? T. There I have a new terminal. Let's try it again. Control Alt, another T. Again, Control Alt, another T. These are the ways to open a terminal on your Linux operating system. Now, I saw somebody saying, can I open it on a mobile phone? Yes, you can, unless you have certain specialized softwares installed in your mobile phone. And remind you, your mobile phone, your Android phone, is a Linux operating system. Thank you very much. Over to you, Kimberly.
Thank you very much. I believe you're on the same page now.
Yes.
What we are going to do again is print who am I. I think we've seen the command multiple times. So who am I together, no space. And then the next thing we are going to do is to create a new folder or a directory. So that's the command mkdir. Then you add the name of the folder over there. Then the next thing we are going to do is to create a file in our folder. In Linux, if you want to know more about the particular command you are going to be using, you can use the man command. Man is for manual, so it gives you a long text, like a long passage about the tool or the command you are going to be using. And you can also add the minus help command, the help command. You can add it to the command, and then you see basic information about the command or tool. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a new file. And to create a new file in Linux, we use the touch command.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Please, can we have the command in the chat? Because I don't think all of us can keep up with you. So if you can have the
okay.
command in the chat so that we can do it on our own as well too.
Okay, let me be typing it.
All right, so Kimberly, please go on. I'll do that for them.
Okay. Thank you, Newman. So touch and then the name of the file. So touch, the name of the file is Kim. So touch Kim or any file that you would want. And yeah, there are two ways of creating a file in Linux. The first is the touch command, and then the second is using the cat command. By default, the cat command is used to display the content of a file. But then when you do cat and you bring the greater than sign and you add the name of the file, so kim.txt, it creates a new file for you. And when it does that, it kind of wants you to input into the file directly. So when you finish, it's waiting for you to type something into it. When you are done, you enter Control D to exit from it. So if you want to view the content of that file, you are going to do cat kim.txt, and then it's going to output the content of the file for you. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to move the file. Please, are we all following?
No, we are not.
Okay. The move, it's a recorded session, so we'll make it available for you, so you can move it. So you can, replay it and then follow along. So what the move command does is that it's used to move a file or a directory to a new location, and the syntax is move, then the name of the file you want to move, and then the new location that you want to move it to. So move old file, then the new file. That's the syntax for that. Then if you want to know where you are, you would have to print your working directory. You want to know where exactly you are at that particular moment, which folder you are in. You want to see the path of the file. You're going to print your working directory, which is PWD. So it tells us, it gives us the absolute path of the file. Then the next one is if you want to remove the directory. So if you want to remove it, we are going to enter remove directory and then remove the entire directory. But then before that, would have, if we are in the directory, would have to come out of the directory. So to go back, we are going to use CD. CD allows us to navigate the directory through the file system.
Excuse me, please, what does the ls command mean?
Yes, I was coming there. The ls command basically lists all the files and folders in the particular directory. So with the ls command, there are two flags you can attach to it. ls-e, and what that does is it lists hidden files. So if Newman enters ls-e, you're going to see hidden files. Oh, I don't think there's a hidden file here. Newman, could you please go to the root and then list the hidden file? So basically the ls listed that the file that's currently in the moved folder is skim.txt. So it's going to list all the files that are in the particular directory. And the ls-l command, with the -l flag, what it basically does is it gives us a lot more about the file. Newman, could you please do ls-l? We are going to see the permissions of the file. We are going to see lots of information about it.
All right, so please, thank you very much. Those on YouTube, kindly take note that the link has been shared on your YouTube page. So please, those confused, please check the link, click on the link. The link will give you an interface just like I have. Then if you were in the meeting earlier, you understand how to open your terminal open your terminal and just follow along. If you're not following via the commands, please just be patient. We will share the list of commands as a slide for you all in an email, all right? Don't worry, we'll share everything with you as an email, all right? Thank you very much.
Hello, Newman. Hello, Newman.
Yes, Kimberly.
Yes, could you ls-l for us? Hello.
We can hear you,
Hello,
Kimberly.
New.
We can hear you. We can
Yes.
hear you, please.
I was saying that
I have done it, please.
With the -L flag so that they can see other information about the file.
Okay, so this is my ls-l, and this is what I get. What's you, Kimberly?
Hello, Niman.
I have done it, please. I have done it.
I think my screen or my network is not updating. It's stuck.
Let me take over for you. All right. Let me take over for you. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So let me just brush through. So guys, let me just show by hand. Just show by hand. If you are on the same page with me, don't unmute yourself. Just show by hand. Okay. There's the hand tool in the Zoom. Just show by hand if you're on the same page with me. If you're on the same page with me, just show by hand. YouTubers, if you are on the same page with me, just say hello, I am. Hello, I am. Just say hello, I am. If you're on the same page as I am, just say hello, I am. Okay, I have about 8 people. So only 8 people so far. We have over 100 people in the Zoom, only 8, okay, increasing, all right? Please show by hand if you're on the same page with me. Please show by hand, all right? Thank you very much for your support. Please show your hand. YouTubers, please just type, I am, hello, I am, hello, I am. I'm still waiting. I'm just giving a minute. Hello, I am on YouTubers, for YouTubers, and then show by hand if you are on the Zoom. All right, I see a lot of hands now. Okay, so I have only about a few hands. Hey, it's not up to half of the number here on my Zoom. I don't know about much of YouTube. I will check it out. But let me go over again. Let me go over again. Now, for those who have their hands down, please listen carefully. Okay. In a Linux operating system, you are most likely as a cybersecurity analyst to use the terminal. So the aim of this section is to teach you how to at least move around in a Linux operating system's terminal. Now, there are basic Linux system commands we need you to understand, okay? There are basic Linux operating system commands we need you to understand. I would share that with you right away so that we can all discuss it, okay? So just give me a minute. Just give me a minute to share that with you all. Okay, so we need you to actually understand these basic commands that we share with you on Linux operating system. Why? Because once you open a Linux operating system, you would not know what to do if you don't know these commands. You would not know what to do if you don't know these commands. So these commands actually will help you to at least navigate in the terminal. So the first command we're going to have a look at is the make directory command, okay? The make directory command, the make directory command. So we are going to have a look at who am I command. We're going to look at mkdir, which is the make command, all right? We're also going to have a look at touch. Hey, this is not touch as you are thinking. This is not touch as you are thinking. This is a different touch, all right, keyword. It's for Linux operating systems terminal. It's touch command. Then we have mv, short for move. Then when we go to the second section, the middle section, we have pwd, which is the present working directory. Then we have rmdir, which is remove directory. We have echo, we have change mode, and a ch mode, and we have ls, we have locate, we have cat, we have ns lookup. Hey, there are numerous commands out there. And in fact, when you start using a Linux system, you might not even use too many of them. In fact, you might start building up on your commands as you use it more and more. You might see some commands you never even knew. Okay, so we are let's touch on them one by one. Who am I? Who am I? Before I touch on the first command, once again, for the last time, so far so good. If you are on the same page with me, can you show by hand? Mind you, we said it's a foundation course. So we need you to understand everything, because if you don't understand the first section and we move to the final stage, you would totally be confused. All right. So I need you to show by hand. Every single participant here in the meeting and on Zoom, I need you to show by hand. If you're on Zoom, I need you to type yes, I am. If you are on YouTube, show by hand if you're on the same page now. All right, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Okay, I have much now. So yes, on YouTube, I think I'm getting one. YouTubers, what is happening? YouTubers, what is happening? Okay, it's increasing. All right. YouTubers, I'm waiting for your response. Are you on the same page with us? We are not leaving you alone. All right. We are with you here. So please just type yes, I am, if you're on the same page with me so far. Okay, so let's dive right in. Let's dive right in. Who am I? Now, we need to understand the importance of each and every command, okay? We don't want to just run the commands. We want you to understand each command you run. Because, hey, if you don't understand the commands, you may damage your Linux operating system. So who am I? Now, whenever you log into a Linux operating system, what happens? Whenever you log into a Linux operating system, you actually would want to know who you are. Knowing who you are can actually give you an overview of certain kind of things you can do. Like for an example, if you see who you are as an administrator, you know that, hey, you are the boss. All right. If you see that you are a normal user, you see your name, you know that, hey, it's your personal account. Okay. Now in hacking or ethical hacking, normally they want to know who they are, because it allows them to do certain actually do certain things in the system, or actually escalate something we call privileges. We'll explain later. All right. So I like to know who I am in my system or in somebody's system. So let's type who I am. Who am I? Hey. Now, You may find my Nikki as Optimus, all right? And the system tells me who I am, okay? It says what? I am Optimus. We all see Optimus here. I am Optimus. So if you log in, let's say I log into my roots. Let me log into my root. Forget this command. Don't try to understand it. All right? Forget it. Don't try to understand it. I will explain later. Now, if I say, who am I? Now, can you all see that, hey, it changed. It changed from Optimus to what? Root. Why? Because I'm currently logged in as a root user. The root user is the topmost user in the Linux operating system. Okay, so who am I can tell you who you are in your own system or in another target system. Now, let me exit this system. Let me still do who am I? And we see that I am Optimus here. That is the who am I command. Hope you all got it. All right, let's move to make directory. Let's move to make directory, mkdir. Now, why do you need to use this command? What is the importance of this command? This command is used to create folders. In a Windows system, my Windows guys, if you want to create Windows, normally you will use the click, 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 and click. So you will right click and select new and say folder. Now, for we the Linux guys, or at least for we starting to use Linux, we say what? mkdir. We don't have time for the clicking. So we say what? mkdir, and we type the name of the folder we want to create. All right, the name of the folder we want to create. All right, so let's have a try. Let's have an example. Let's have an example here. Let me go down a little bit. I'll say mkdir. Hey, what name should I give it? I will say Kim Belly dash folder. All right, I say Kimberly dash folder. And this, let me cancel this first of all. Let me just move into something better so that we can have things organized. Don't worry about this command I'm running. I'll run it so fast because I would explain later. Let me remove everything here. It's an empty folder. So I'm going to run that same command. Now, okay, I'll say what? mkdir. I'll type the name of the folder. I'll say what? Kim dash dir. Okay, and this is what I have. Let's first press enter. Now, the folder has been created. The folder has been created. I am not going to show you whether it has been created or not. We'll later find out how do we actually list content of any file or folder. Now, I'm going to create another folder. I'll say what? MDKR Cyber 101. All right. I'll create another one. MDKR YouTubers 101. Now, let me create another one for the last time saying what? MDKR. I'll say the same YouTube. I'll say YouTube. All right. 101. Now, I want you to take note of something here. This YouTube 101 and this YouTube 101 are different. All right. I want you to know they are different. Okay. I will explain. Why are they different? Now, whenever you are typing the name of the command, every space is taken as a new folder. Okay, every space is taken as a new folder. All right, every space is taken as a new folder. So if I say YouTube 101, to the human eye, it looks like one sentence, but hey, to the Linux operating system, this is one folder name, this is another folder. Why? Because of the space. Okay, because of the space. So if I press enter, now let's list the content of this directory or folder. I'm currently in the tutorial folder, TUT, that's tutorial folder for short. Okay. So how do I list the content of the folder? Now there's another command. I'm going to jump let me show you. I'm going to jump from the MDKR to LS. All right, to LS. I have highlighted it. I'm going to jump because we're going to understand this command now. So how do I know the content of any folder? Hey, I didn't say file, of any folder. So to know the content, to actually see the content, to list the content, we say what? LS, which is the short form of what? List. So if I say list, it's going to list the current directory of the current directory I am in. Otherwise, if you don't want to list the current directory, you want to list another directory, then you have to give what? The location of that directory. I will come there to location, how to do that, because there are different ways to do that as well. And we don't want to go too complex, okay? So let's move with the basics. LS. LS will list what? The content of your current directory. Let's give it a try. LS, and hey, voila, we have this. We have this, all right? Now have a look at something. Remember we created Cyber 101. We created Kim directory. We created YouTubers 101. But if you can take a good look, you can see that, hey, we have YouTube and we have what? 101. Why? I said that they were two different folders and we can see it's a proof here, all right? So that's how you list the content. Let's look at the next one, touch command. Now, touch command is used to create an empty file. An empty file. Now, it's used to create an empty file. Well, there's no meaning creating an empty file though, but hey, why not give it a try? It may be important at certain points, okay? So we're going to create an empty file with the touch command. Touch command. We've had a look at who am I, MDKR, LS. Now we are on the touch command. Hope everyone is following. If you are following, just give me a hand. If you're on YouTube, just say I am, okay? I am. So let's touch on the touch command. Touch command, touch command. Again, I'm going to say it again with vivid warning. It is not the touch you are thinking, okay? Not a touch you are thinking. This is a touch command, okay? So let's have a look at it. I said it's used to create what? An empty folder. Empty folder. So I say touch command and I type the name of the file. Okay. I type the name of the file. Okay. I type the name of the file I want to create. Okay. I type the name of the file I want to create. So let's have a look at it in action. Let me cancel this. Let me just move down. I'm not going to use any command that you don't understand again, so that you can better understand it well. So the touch command, I say touch, and I'm going to create our favorite word. I know some of it is your favorite word. Another file called touch. Okay, I'm going to create the word touch. I'm using the keyword touch, and I'm creating a file, an empty file to be specific, called touch file. Okay, touch file. Well, I press enter. Now let's list the content of this folder. I taught you how to do this. How do you do it? Anybody to tell me, how do you list the content of this? How do you do that? Anybody to speak up?
Inside the assets folder.
How do you do that? Anybody, if you can type it, you can type it for me, all right? How do you list the content? How do you list the content? In fact, the person who gives me an answer will get a free premium 20 days, all right? We'll get a 20 days premium account to learn anything and get a certificate from it. Who can tell me how you list the content of any directory in a Linux system? Anybody to help? All right, let me allow people to unmute themselves. All right, so 1, 2, there you go.
Using the ls command.
Yeah, using the is command.
Using the
ls command.
ls command.
Okay, so hey, somebody answered on YouTube. Who's the name? Come again. Quest on YouTube. West on YouTube. You won. All right. It looks like you typed it earlier, and my YouTubers watching and helping me moderate actually gave your name out early. But hey, I'm not going to be I'm not going to leave you Zoom guys around just like that. You are with me. So for the two guys who made mention of it, the first person to make mention of it, what is your name? What is your name? Leslie. Yeah. Leslie, kindly text the moderator, Josephine, your name. All right. Okay, don't worry. Once we are done, we will display our name, we'll display our numbers. Please text me, text us via our number. Quest, please also.
I was the first to type.
All right. So West also do contact us, and you will get your credentials and change everything. Okay, I will explain how you can do that, and then you have 20 days for yourself. Anything you learn, you get it. Right? All right, don't worry, you are the first. It's the first come, first serve. I'm sorry, you can try again. Okay, don't worry, we have more time to go. Just stay with us. Okay, so thank you very much. It shows that hey, YouTube guys, we are with you, and Zoom, we are also very well with you. So it's LS command, and here we see that I can have the touch file. Can you all see that? I have the touch file. Now let's move to the next command, which is the move. All right, but before I move to the move, hey, my screen is messy. I want to actually have an organized screen. There is a command that will actually allow you to see and to actually have a start over. All right, a makeover. Let me say that with a makeover.
Exit.
Everything. All right, somebody's trying to be smart.
Exit.
Clear. All right, somebody says Claire. Wow, that's brilliant. Somebody says Claire. Am I having anybody on YouTube? YouTube, I'm actually watching you. YouTube, I'm actually following you. So if you're on YouTube, hey, don't be left out. All right. So somebody says Claire, but hey, this is actually what a free question. Okay. Somebody said Control L.
Yeah, it's Claire.
Okay. The person who said Control L, who said that?
Mark.
All right, Mark, I will speak to you. Okay. Mark was very smart with a shortcut called Control L. I'll explain shortcut later, but you see the command you use is what? Claire. Most of you say that. Claire. I will talk to Mark because he gave a very in-depth answer, which is what? Control L. Control L is just the command you can use also to clear the screen. It's just like the clear command, but it's a shortcut of what? Clear command. So I cleared my screen by using what? The clear command. All right. So let's move on. I want to use a move command, the move command. Move command is MV. All right. So I'll list the content. I want to create a file. I want to move the touch file to the YouTube file. This touch file, I want to move it here. So what do I do? How to use the move command? You type the move command. You type the location of file. Okay, location of the file, and then what? Destination location, or let me say destination. All right, where you want to move that file or folder to. Mind you, you cannot just move files, you can move folders. Hey, I want you to have a mindset of a hacker. Why would you want to move something? Well, you can move something from somewhere to somewhere. If you find something that you like, why don't you move it? Okay, so we can use the MV to move anything, file, folders. I want you to also have a look at this. Anything in Linux is considered as a file. All right, so you can move basically almost anything. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Let's demonstrate that. I want to move the touch into the YouTube folder. So I'll say move. Which file do I want to move? I want to say touch file. All right, what's the destination? YouTube. Now YouTube. So I press enter. Let's select the content. Voila, we can see touch file here. Where should touch file be? We have to find where we have to locate touch file. Touch file is missing. He's a lost sheep now. So let's find him. But before we can find him, we need to actually know where we are. Okay. So I'm going to touch another command called PWD. Present working directory. Present working directory. What does it do? It tells you where you are currently in the Linux operating system. Supposing you are a hacker, you hack the system, you had access into the system. What do you do? What do you do? You want to actually know where you are to move somewhere else into another directory. Okay, you use the PWD. The PWD tells where you are. So let's see PWD. It takes no arguments. All right, like the touch ls and stuff. You just take one. Let me see something. All right, it does take argument, but not much. Okay, sorry for that. So I'll say PWD. Now PWD. Let's see, what does it say? It says /home/Optimus Prime /TUT. It tells me where I am. If I move to another file or folder, if I move to another folder, you should see that with PWD. Okay. Now, the next command we are going to learn is the CD command. CD command, change directory, for the short CD. CD. Hey, all right, let's relax with that with a keyword CD. CD is used to actually what? Move around the Linux system or the Linux file system. All right, the Linux file system. What is the Linux file system? Basically, it's just like in your Windows. I know most of you are using Windows, so I'm trying to use Windows to explain better to you. Okay, I'm using Windows to explain better to you. Now, the file system is just like what you have in Windows. You have this PC. This PC actually have what? All the partitions and the disks connected to the system showing there. When you click on the C drive, you can have what? Your folder. You can have very sensitive folders. You can have the system folders in there. They are all file systems, all right? They are like files and folders in there, all right? They're basically the folders in there. That is the same principle with Linux operating system. They are the file systems, okay? They are different file systems, and the topmost level is the root file system, all right? The root file system. I didn't say the root user. They are two different things. I spoke of root user early, but hey, I'm talking about what? The root file system. I will talk about it later. Okay. Mind you, it's a basic foundation. It's a basic or foundation course. Okay. It's a basic or foundation course. So the CD, I'll say CD, and I'll type what? The destination or where I want to move to. All right. Where I want to move to. So let's first list the content. I see YouTube here. So I want to move into YouTube. I'll say what? CD YouTube. CD YouTube. And I press enter. Now, I don't know where I am. What do? I type, hey, I don't know where I am. Okay, so what do? I type PWD. PWD is used to what? Know where I am. And you see, I have moved from the tutorial to what? The YouTube. So when I list the content, okay, now I have the content here. But hey, we found our lost sheep. We found our lost sheep, the touch file. Do you guys remember we moved the touch file into the YouTube file? Yes, we did. So I have it here. Okay, I have it here. So we move to the next command. The next command is remove directory. Now, last thing with the CD, if you want to move outside a current directory, you use what? CD two full stops. It will take you what? One step back to the previous directory. All right. So I type what? CD dash dash. It's going to take me back to the tutorial folder. All right. Let me list here. I have this here. So when I do CD dash dash, let's list now. Hey, I can't means what? I'm out of the YouTube. Okay. And that is it. That is it. That is it. All right. Let's have a look at another command, RMDIR, okay? Remove directory. It's used to just basically remove any directory. Not a file, not a file. Hey, relax, not a file, just directories, okay? So I want to remove any directories. You type the name of the directory you want to remove, all right? So I'll type what? No, I don't want to remove YouTube. I want to remove 101. So I'll type what? 101, all right? 101 is here, but when we list again, after typing remove, I wouldn't see 101 again, all right? I wouldn't see 101 again. Let's list it. Okay, 101 is dead, or let me say removed, all right? 101 is removed. Okay, my screen is getting messy. What do? Anybody to help? YouTubers, Zoom?
Control-L. Clear.
Clear. Control-L, very good. You're following. Shows you're following. Don't worry. I have more offers to give you. Okay. I have more offers to give you. So don't worry. I will catch it at any point in time. I can just call it at any point in time. Okay. Just impress me. All right. Impress me, and I'll give it out to you. Okay. So the last command we're going to look at, not the last command. I'm going to touch on extra 2 commands. Okay. Extra 2 commands. It's called the echo command, and the cat command. The echo command and the cat command. Let's look at the echo. Echo basically what? Hey, let me ask a question. When you are in an empty room and you talk, what do you hear? Whose voice do you hear?
Your voice.
Your voice.
Come again. You hear your voice. YouTubers, if you are following, you hear your own voice.
Your voice in a louder reaction.
Very good. That is very good in a louder reaction. That is what we call an echo. It's basically the same principle here. Whenever you type echo, whatever you type to echo, the Linus is going to shout back at you. So I say hello, echo, hello, and he shouts hello to me. I say echo, how are you?
Just like print.
Very good, just like print. In programming, more specifically, okay? In programming, it says, how are you? I say echo, I am fine. He says, I am fine. Okay, so that is basically what the echo does, all right? But hey, why would you want to use echo? Well, sometimes you want to see the content of a file. Do you get it? I'm trying to explain to you the importance of
hello,
any
please,
command.
can I ask a question?
Don't worry, I will come for questions, okay?
No, I just want to ask, like, the code you wrote, why is that the echo hello, you didn't bring the quotation mark, but when you were doing how are you brought quotation?
All right, somebody's asking a question. So we are going to write a question down. Don't worry. Once I finish, I will touch on those questions. All right. All right. For the person who asked the question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So, all right. Guys, give me a minute. All right, so let's look at, we've looked at echo. Let's look at our last command. Well, the last command I would say is like a brother to echo. All right. He's like a brother to echo, but probably from another generation. All right. He's more specialized to not shouting at you. He's more kind, and he just shows you what is inside something. Probably say he discerns. So the next command is cat command. All right, cat command. Well, it's not an animal cat. It's not the animal cat. Don't think it's the animal cat. Please don't go that way. YouTubers, please don't go that way. Zoom, don't go that way. It's not a cat command. This is for concatenation, or concatenation. So what does it mean? Now, the cat command is actually used to output the content of a file. I type a file, I save it, a text file, whatever it may be. You can use the cat command to actually output its content. Please again, let me answer this ahead of time. Well, if you want to know the function of a command, why not try it? We have given you a link. YouTubers, you have the link. Zoom, we share the link. Try it out in your browser. Let me say it that way. Try it in your browser, okay? So please try it out. So I'm going to create a file. Don't worry if the command I'm typing, I told you it's a foundation and you don't need to understand too much of this, the complex stuff. I'm going to create a file. Okay. So I'm saying this is Cyber 101 created file. Let's see what it is.
Excuse me, can you please go back?
All right, am I audible enough? Am I audible enough?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much for the response. Okay, so I have created a file called my file. It's here. So I want to output its content. We type something silly in there. Not that silly though, but hey, we type something in there. So I say cut, and then I type what? The name of the file or the file which actually has the content I want to see. All right. So I say cut my file. Can we see what I type?
No, sir.
No, we can't see.
You can't see my screen?
No, sir.
No, sir. Oh, okay. I think it has just come. Cut file, right?
Very good. Yeah, cut file.
Yeah.
All right. So kindly check your network. Okay. Thank you. Probably mine. Yes. Cut file. Cut my file. Yeah. Cut my file. That is good. So I see the content of that file. All right. And we end the Linux basic commands you need. At least we have gone through at least more than 5. All right. There's more to go through, but because of time, we might not be able to delve deeper into those. All right. We might not be able to delve deeper into those. Mind you, it is a foundation course. All right. Just to give you an overview of whatever I need, we will have other webinars that will go in depth than this. All right. We promise you for that. No. So let's go with, let's clear the screen. I would exit. Okay. I would exit. All right. Now we are back to our slides. We are back to our slides. We are back to our slides. All right. So guys, I'm giving a 2 minutes break. I'm giving a 2 minutes break just for you to grasp whatever we learned. If you have any question, please, this is the time for you to type your questions in the chat. YouTubers, I am following you as well. We love you. Type your questions in the chat. We are listening carefully for your questions. Please do start, all right? Do follow us as well. And hey, you have 2 minutes, all right? Thank you.
So, a question.
Yes, please do type your question, all right? I would answer all.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for that break. We hope you love Linux now too. I do love Linux. Do you love Linux? Just give me a hand. If you love Linux on the YouTube, just say I love it. Just say I love. All right. So I'm here. We are done with Linux operating system. We are done with Linux operating system. Any questions? I'm taking only 3 to 4 questions for now. Okay, because of time, I'm taking 3 to 4 questions. So what is the first question?
The first question reads, does that mean you can't hack a computer that doesn't use Linux?
Oh, that is a very sensitive question, but hey, it's very nice. You can't, in fact, any system can be hacked. Okay? Any system can be hacked. All right? Whether a Windows system, a Linux system, a mobile device, which also has Linux operating system most often for the Android users, okay, it can be hacked, okay? That doesn't actually make you immune to being hacked, all right? You can be hacked. We are not actually doing Linux to actually show you that you can hack a Linux, only Linux systems. We are going through Linux because that is what you would actually come to encounter. You would come to use Linux at one point in time. It's necessary to use it, all right? Listen, it's necessary to use it. You love Windows, I love it too, but I love Linux more, all right? So that is it. The next question?
Okay. The next question reads, which Linux distribution is best for cybersecurity?
Which is best for Linux? Which is best for cybersecurity? What do you mean by which is best for cybersecurity? All right, because cybersecurity is broad. Which area of cybersecurity are you talking about? I would assume you are talking about ethical hacking. All right, ethical hacking or penetration testing. Now, for which Linux operating system? Well, it much depends on you. Okay, I would say it much depends on you. All right, I would say it much depends on you. But for convenience, majority would actually go for the Kali Linux, all right, or the Parrot operating system. Now I'll explain why. Still, people even have battle among the Kali and the Parrot. They are basically all the same in the same distro, the Debian distro. Now, why is it much convenient in that way? It comes pre-installed with a lot, in fact, tons of tools that you can use for ethical hacking, all right? Most script kiddies will find it lovely, all right? Most script kiddies will find it lovely to use such systems. Now, a well-structured or for a skillful hacker, all right, can basically take any Linux operating system and make it what he wants. Most especially the Ubuntu system. Don't think Ubuntu system is so friendly because it's also a Debian system. Any tool you would like to install in that Kali, you can basically also try to install it in the Ubuntu. Now, when we get to the latter part, I'm going to show you a simple C2 server I have set up. All right, I've set up 2 servers, Ubuntu server and a Kali server. I will explain to you, I will show you how I log in, and I'll show you that you can basically install any tool in them, all right? You can basically install any tool in them. So yes, Linux is good for hacking. You can also use Windows and use virtual machines, which will actually run in Linux, okay? But you can basically use any Linux of your choice. So presuming that you have the tools to install onto those systems, all right? If you think it's a Windows system, you have the tool, go for it. If you think it's a Linux, you have the tool, go for it. But most hackers will go for Linux. Hope I answered your question. All right, thank you. Next question.
Thank you very much. The next question reads, using the touch to create the file, do you have to specify the file type, or it's an automatic .txt file?
Okay, come again with the question.
The question again, using the touch to create the file, do you have to specify the file type, or it's automatically a .txt file?
All right, so you know, Linux doesn't really work like the way you think in Windows, okay? Linux doesn't work with files like the way you think in Windows. Mind you, I said that Linux sees everything basically as a file. Even the configurations, it sees them as files. All right. If you try to create a .txt file, that is good. It doesn't affect it. All right. What happens is if you named it, Optimus.txt, if you are trying to locate that file, you should actually be specific. All right. Say Optimus.txt, and it is called case sensitive. All right. So if you just set Optimus as a file, basically go for it. Okay. So you should actually go specifically to the name of the file. Hope I answered the question. All right. So I would like to take some questions from the YouTubers. I'd like to hear from you. Yes, so YouTubers, somebody said, my question now, please. Is it possible to integrate Linux into Microsoft Windows? That is a very good question. Yes, it is. All right. Now they have something called the Linux subsystem. Okay, that Windows actually brought up. You basically can also install Linux into the Windows using that subsystem, and then probably run Linux commands in there too. All right, you can run Linux in there too. So that is it. You can basically do that as well. Okay, but why don't you go for the full package? Linux, Windows. That is fine. All right. So somebody else says by virtualization. Yes, virtualization. Yes, you can also do that, running it by virtualization using virtualization softwares like VMware. Okay. I'm waiting for another question from YouTube.
A question reads from YouTube that, please, how can you access the Linux OS and which one should I download? Okay, from YouTube, Emmanuel John asks, do you need a powerful machine to execute Linux commands?
All right, powerful machine. No, powerful machine. You can go for a powerful machine, depends on what you want to do. But you see, Linux actually can run basically on a very machine that is not that powerful. Okay, even 2 GB RAM, you can run Linux. Sometimes go to the point of you can run 1 GB RAM. Yeah, you can. Look at your phone. Your phone, sometimes some phones have 1 GB RAM, you still run Linux. All right. So yes, you don't necessarily need a powerful machine to run Linux commands. You can basically have 2 GB as on a computer, 3 and above, and you can basically run any command you want. All right. Linux is minimalistic as possible. Okay. All right. In fact, there are even certain distros that actually so light that they can run, or they can run on very very small devices that actually have smaller RAMs and much ways, in fact, way smaller RAMs and stuff, okay? So you don't necessarily need a powerful machine, all right? You don't necessarily need a powerful machine. All right, so that will be the end of the questions. That will be the end of Linux operating system. I hope you love Linux too. I do, and I do. Okay, so we move to networking fundamentals, all right? Let's cross the road to networking fundamentals, networking fundamentals, networking fundamentals, okay? So networking, welcome. We are connecting you to the world through networking, okay? So networking fundamentals, when we talk about networking fundamentals, we're going to understand that, we're going to understand it in the layman term. But before we move on, what are we going to learn in this section? We're going to learn about what networking is, why networking, certain networking devices. We're going to have a brief look at IP addresses, at least you see what an IP address is. And we're going to talk about protocols for dummies, all right? What is protocol? Sometimes people say protocol, this protocol, that protocol, that protocol. What is a protocol actually you're talking about, all right? So we're going to have a look at just these, all right? Good, let's start. Let's start. And we have, what is networking? What is networking?
The process of connecting two or more computers together to share a common resource.
All right, very good. All right, so before I go on, I would like us to do something. Those who are here, and especially the YouTube guys, I'd like you to subscribe, and I'd like you to share the link with your friends, all right? The meeting has not ended yet. We have much to go in for, all right? So please share the link with your friends. Why not let them join in live with us, EDUC8AFRICA, and let them have fun with us now, okay? The YouTubers, you can tell your friends that, hey, there's still space in the Zoom. You can join the Zoom also as well, all right? You can join the Zoom as well. So networking, somebody said connecting each other, very good. When we talk about networking, it's basically connecting people together, both far and away. You are somewhere, I don't know. When you are far away from me, you say, I said you are remote, all right? So connecting remote people to each other. Now, somebody may be in University of Ghana. I'm connected to the person. I can connect to the person through social media. All right. Mind you, it also uses network to actually communicate to that person. So basically, networking we talk about is connecting with other people close and far away from you, connecting you two guys together, two of you together. All right. So that is basically networking. But ask yourself, why networking in IT? Now, when we talk about networking in IT, I said earlier that it's actually for what? Connecting two or more people together. But I'm being specific to computers here. Though at the end of the day, human beings use computers. Network is actually what? Connecting two or more computers together to share resources. So we are going to have a look at why do we need networking. We need networking, one, to share resources, to share ideas, to share information. Well, information is also sometimes an idea. Well, so resources, what are some of the resources you need to actually have? Okay, so let me say this. In our normal human life, one of the resources we need is money. And how do you get the money? You are connected to your parents. Parents give you money. All right. So it becomes a responsibility for them to what? Provide for you through anything such as money. Now in computer, resources such as printer, all right, it's actually needed to actually print stuff out. So in a network, a lot of computers will be sharing printers together. There may be two or more, all right? So they will connect to share that printer, or basically to share a storage device or some information on a network storage device. The storage device is connected to the network. Or in fact, it may be an information or data on a particular computer and they need to access it. So we need networking to share resources, to share ideas. Now, How do you share ideas? Through your social media. Your social media connects you together. WhatsApp, Zoom, we are connecting, we are sharing ideas. Okay, we are connecting, we are sharing ideas. So networking also is what important to share what ideas. We need networking so we can share ideas. Now, information. Now, mind you, you know, when you were younger and you did something, somebody did something, hey, quickly you report to mommy. All right, you were giving information, switching up and down. Well, that was information you were sharing with mommy. All right, you went to mommy because you are most connected to mommy. You dare not go to daddy. Maybe sometimes you go to daddy, but hey, that was sharing information. Now, some where we share information actually what accessing data on the internet. These are information that are on the internet, like the web servers that are serving as web pages. All right, these web pages have tons of information we need to absorb in. Okay, so once you're connected to the internet, you have access to this information. So one of the things we need networking for is what? To share and access resources, ideas, and information. All right, hope everybody got it to this point. Just give me a hand if you understood it to this point. Just give me a hand if you understood networking, if you understood why we need networking. Say, I do, if you are on YouTube. Okay. I'm still waiting for hands. I'm still waiting for hands. Well, somebody gave me a laugh. That's good. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about networking devices. Networking devices. Now, there are numerous networking devices out there, okay? But what is most important to me is actually to touch on these three, okay? To touch on these three. So networking devices, okay? Networking devices. Number one I'm going to talk about the last one first. It's a repeater. It's a repeater. I'm going to explain the repeaters to you, all right? And help you to understand, to actually know what repeaters are, okay? To help you know what repeaters are. So those still joining the Zoom, we are admitting people still in the Zoom. Please do join, okay? Do join. Thank you. So what is a repeater? Now, number one, a repeater is a network device. I mean, that's what I'm talking about in networking. A repeater is also a network device that basically transmit the information, okay, or data. How does it work? Now, let me this scenario. When we were kids, we snitched. Information we heard, or let me say the gossips, actually did broadcast the information they had. So somebody was basically somebody was discussing his whatever issue they have. The gossiper heard it. What did he do? He spreads the information. Why am I using this scenario? That is basically what a repeater does. Okay? That's basically what a repeater does. That's what a repeater does. Okay. So a repeater basically what? Retransmits signals it receives. All right. Retransmits these signals it receives. All right. It retransmits the signals it receives. So if it received a signal from somebody called A, what it does it repeats it to what? B, if it is connected to B. All right. So it doesn't just send signals on its own. It receives what we say what is amplifies the signals. Okay. So that's basically a repeater. That's basically a repeater. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is a switch. But before I move to a switch, I want to talk about something called a hub. Now, for a hub, it also receives information and actually does something like a repeater. To an extent, a hub looks like a hub works like a repeater. We have a very specific thing called repeater, but a hub also actually has some functionalities like a repeater. A hub receives a signal on the network and it broadcasts to the whole network, to everybody on the network. It snitches the information to everybody. So it receives gossip, snitches the gossip to everyone on a network. Okay, so that is what a hub is. But that was a headache for a lot of people. So switch came to the rescue. A switch came to the rescue. A switch came to the rescue. What does a switch do? Now, a switch is much faithful, all right? A loyal. What did they do? A switch on a network, once they receive a signal or they receive data, they do not broadcast this data or signal. What do? They send the signal or the data to whoever it is destined for. Supposing we have 5 devices on a network. Mind you, computer is also a network device. So supposing we have 5 computers and we are naming them computer A to B. All right. We are naming them computer A to B. We are naming them computer A to B. For example, let me give you an example. Like this, computer A to B. If you can see my screen. This is a simple network. Okay. So we have 6 computers here. So you can see there's a repeater in the middle. All right. I'm going to use this to explain to you. There's a repeater in the middle. So this is computer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a repeater. Once, let's say computer. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, some of us cannot see.
Oh, you can see.
Not shown. Yes, it's not shown.
It's not shown.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for actually the notice. So, supposing this computer where I am highlighting or placing my mouse to, this computer says, Kwabena, how are you? Once he says, Kwabena, how are you? He transmits a signal. The signals move over the wire. The wire actually also connects each computer together. He transmits over the wire. Once it gets to the repeater is a snitch. What does he do? He just sends that signal. Or let me use the Linus command called echo. He echoes everything to everybody on the network. All right. He just amplifies that signal to everyone on the network. So every computer will receive that signal. Hello, Kwabena, how are you? Do you get it? Now, a hub also basically does that. It receives and sends to the network. Okay, but a switch. But a switch. What does a switch do? Now, pay attention here. You will need to understand this very well. Now, supposing this repeater is a switch, when computer A wants to talk to computer G, which is the last computer here at the far end, it's on a separate network or a separate sub-network. This is a whole one network, all right? So if this wants to talk to this, he says, bring me the money. Well, they are having financial issues. So he says, bring me the money. Once he says, bring me the money, he will actually what? Add who he's talking to. All right, I'll come to how you know who he's talking to. You will add who he's talking to. So let's say you say, I'm talking to what? G. G, bring me the money. Once he sends that information, the router receives that. And what does the router do? The router actually what? Will learn G ahead of time. I'll come to explain how he learns it. The router actually would what? Send it to specifically to G and not I or A. Or B or computer number 2. All right. He sends it. Yes, hello.
James, you were mentioning switch, but now you are mentioning router.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, switch. Sorry, switch. Okay. So the switch would what? The switch would send it specifically to who? Computer number 6 and not computer number 5. Supposing that he now wants to talk to computer number 4, which is here, he says, what? Computer number 4, how are you? Have you received my money? Computer number 4 is this one. All right, computer number 4.
But there's no connection. Okay, connection is here. So.
All right, computer number 4. Please mute yourself, guys. Please mute yourself.
Hello, sir. Please, we can't see the screen yet.
All right, please give it a while. It would appear. Okay, I'm still sharing my screen. Do you see my screen now? All right, so those on YouTube, I received an information that you can't see my screen. Please be patient. It would appear. All right, it looks like we're having some latency issues, network issues. So please be patient. It's going to appear on your screen. Okay, once it appears, just give me a thumbs up or just say I see on YouTube. Okay, hope you see it now. YouTubers, if you're not seeing it, please check, because some are saying they can see and I can actually see it. Yes, we are still having repeater. Somebody said the repeater is still on the screen. Yes, I said we are taking the repeater as a switch now. We are taking the repeater as a switch now. So don't mind the name repeater written here. All right. Please don't mind the name here. I'm just using the device. Okay. I'm just using the device. So forget the name repeater here. I'm just taking it as a switch. So this is computer number 4. Supposing one wants to talk, computer number 1 now wants to talk to computer number 4. He says, computer number 4, how are you? He asks the name of the person he wants to talk to. Then the switch will not just send anything to everyone. He sends it specifically to computer number 4. Supposing computer number 4 now wants to talk back, what switch will send the message to whoever he wants to talk to. So that is how a switch is. A switch doesn't broadcast to everyone. A switch sends it specifically to whoever it was destined for. Just like somebody who's sending a mail, all right? You write the name of the person you want to send to and the address of the person, and it is sent to that person specifically, all right? Specifically. So that is just for a switch, an overview of a switch. It's also a network device that actually connects 2 or more devices together, and it sends data to a destined host. All right, a host that is destined for that message. A repeater is just a network device. It's just a network device. All right, so guys, if you unmute yourself and you make noise, you would be removed out of the meeting, all right? And you will not have opportunity to enter again. So please be warned, you will be removed. All right, thank you. So make sure you are muted and you're not interacting the meeting or the webinar. We don't have much time. So yes, a repeater would also amplify everything to the network and everybody can hear it, same as HARP. What about a router? What about a router? Now, a router basically will sit in between 2 networks, okay? Now, you sit between 2 networks, it does like a switch. It sends the message specifically to the destination, all right, device that is on a separate network. That is on a separate network. Now, switches are working like routers, but they are used mostly in a local area network. I'll explain what local area networks is later. They are using a local area network or a local network, your small network at home. Switches actually are used to connect you, let me say, basic fashion to the internet. Okay, to the internet. So that is what basically a switch does. It's also transmit to the specific device that the message was for. Now, let's talk about network. The types of networks, I haven't written it here. So the type of networks are local area network. I made mention of it, LAN, all right, LAN. Then we have what? Wide area networks, all right? Wide area networks, all right? Wide area networks. Wide area networks. So now, wide local area networks are it's a network that's actually bounded in a particular region, a smaller region, like in your small office. That is a local area network, okay? like the network in your small office, that is a local area network. All right, that is a local area network. The network in your office is a local area network, and you are all connected to it. Now, supposing I want to connect your office number A in Kumasi to office number B in Accra, all right, that becomes a wide area network, okay? A wide area network. Now, how do you connect that? You don't connect that by using switches, you connect that by using what? Routers, all right? There's a reason why routers are used. Routers actually what I said earlier, that repeaters what transmit the data everywhere, it amplifies it to everyone. What we say, it broadcasts, it's a hub also what broadcast what data. Now, routers are placed in there to what stop this broadcast or to stop the packet which is being broadcast in one particular local area network to another network. All right. So that's basically what routers do, and that is what the basic types of networks you need to know. All right. So I will move to the next one. We talk about a very important thing called MAC address. A MAC address. What is a MAC address? Basically, a MAC address is a physical address of any computer or a network interface card. Okay. Now, a MAC address actually is what? A string of hexadecimal numbers. They are separate. They are a string of hexadecimal numbers, and they are separated by colons. They are separated by colons. If you look at this red numbers here, that is a series of alphabet and numerals. You can see that they are separated by colons, but these are what? Hexadecimal numbers. All right, they are hexadecimal numbers. All right. If you know much about hexadecimal numbers, which everyone should know because it was done basically in primary and stuff, all right, hexadecimal numbers start from 0 to about F or so, yeah. So a string of hexadecimal numbers, they are separated by what? Semicolons, right? Or sorry, colons, all right? So they are used to identify and deliver data to a device in a network reach. Now, what do I mean by this? They are used to identify a device and deliver data to a device in your network reach. In your network reach. In your network reach, I mean local area network. Okay. So MAC addresses are utilized by switches. Okay. MAC addresses are used by switches. Switches understand MAC addresses. Okay. So whenever you are sending data in a local area network, the switch will use the MAC address to identify which device is receiving this data, or which device are you sending the data to. It does this by reading the MAC address on the data. So the MAC address is like a label on top of your data that says that, hey, MAC, computer, or switch, I want to send this message to this MAC address. So what does he do? The switch just look at the MAC address, and then once he has looked at the MAC address, he knows what? Where the computer is seated at in that local area networks, and then what? It sends the message to that particular computer. Now, if that MAC address is not found in that local area network, it sends the message what? To the router. All right, and that is also based on configuration. All right, that is also based on configuration. All right, but basically it will do that. So MAC addresses are used by switches. They are a string of hexadecimal numbers separated by colons, and they are understood and utilized by what? Switches. This is an example of a MAC address I'm giving you here. All right, an example of a MAC address is this. All right, A3:92:E5009528. This is a simple MAC address. Okay, now MAC address, the first three sets helps you to what? Know the manufacturer of the network interface card. Now, MAC addresses are mostly binded to the network interface card, but because most network interface cards are on the board, it basically becomes what? The computer's address. Okay, so it helps you to actually know the manufacturer of that card, all right, or that board, that network interface. Then the next three sets is actually used to identify what? That particular device that you are using. All right. that particular device that you are using. All right. So that's basically a MAC address used and utilized by switches. Now let's move to the next IP addresses. IP address is the well-known IP address. Well-known IP address. Now, IP address is also a string of numbers, all right, and they are separated by periods. Now, IP address is also just like MAC addresses, but they are not physical addresses. They are not actually on the board. Okay, they are called logical addresses. All right, they are assigned to any computer, and they can also be changed easily. All right, by certain devices on the network. All right, we'll talk about those devices. I'll talk about it in a moment. So IP addresses are what? Logical addresses. Logical addresses. Okay, there are two types of addresses. There are two versions, okay, or types: IP address version 6 and IP address version 4. Okay, now in our part of the world, we are using IP address version 4. And this example of an IP is what an IP address version 4 is. Okay, we are just going to introduce you to IP address version 4. This is an example of an IP address version 4. Do we all see that? That is an example of IP address version 4. Okay, so why IP address? Why IP address? Now, IP address are not mostly utilized in a local area network. All right, so IP address allows you to actually communicate over the internet. So when you are in a different network, the router, all right, will utilize the IP address to actually know where you are. Okay, so you hear somebody says that would track the IP address of that person, and you find what his location. So you find people actually using terms like what use VPN to actually what hide your IP address, because by your IP address I can know what where you are or which country you come from. All right, I can't know that easily by the MAC address, but I can know that easily by the IP address, because what the IP address can allow me to communicate over the internet. All right. So that is basically an IP address. This is an example of an IP address. We'll not go so deep into the IP address to confuse you. It's a foundation. If you have any question, I will see it later in the chat. All right. So we move back now to protocols. Protocols. What is a protocol? You hear something say TCP protocol. You hear something say FTP protocol. You hear something say DHCP protocol, DNS protocol. Well, what is a protocol? Anybody to help me what a protocol is by not reading what I've shown here? Anybody?
We can say protocols are a set of rules governing how something should behave or act.
All right, that's very good. That is very good. All right.
A set of principles that guide the flow of information in the network, within the network.
Very good. That is what protocols are. So these two people, you are getting a free, you're also getting a code red, 20 days free. All right. So please text your name. What is your name? The first person, what's your name?
I'm not.
All right, Nathaniel Pia. All right, the second person.
Lloyd Azuma.
Yes. Come again.
Lloyd Azuma.
Lloyd Azuma. All right. So Lloyd Azuma, please text us, contact us, and we'll get you that. All right. Contact us, and I'll let them get it for you. So yes, that is what a protocol is. All right. That's what a protocol is. So when we talk about, when you hear something say FTP protocol, now FTP is a protocol that actually what handles file transfer. So we say it's what the file transfer protocol. So it actually basically explains the rules that actually what is engaged to actually what, transfer a file. All right, they actually have what their understanding. The two computers understand the instructions or the steps they need to follow to what be able to transfer files to each other. So by understanding what protocol is, you understand the service, which is the FTP service. When they say FTP protocol, then you understand what they actually what's going by a set of what rules that are acceptable to them. All right. So the FTP protocol
and a client.
Very good. A server and a client. So what is a server and a client? Somebody just said server and client. YouTubers, what is a server? What is a client? Only to YouTubers. Only to YouTubers. What is a server? What is a client? Anybody? Just in the chat?
I can see.
All right, just give the YouTubers some chance. All right. Just YouTubers some chance. Anybody? What is a client? What is a server? Anybody to help us? What is a client? What is a server?
Client server is a model. All
right, so I didn't say client server. I was asking what is a client and what is a server, and it's going to the YouTubers. Okay, just relax for us. All right, the guys, don't worry. You get some. Just relax for us. What is a client? What is a server? YouTubers, what is a client? What is a server? So YouTubers, what is the client? What is a server? What is a client? All right, so somebody said, okay, Isaac says a server is a node. Good, that's a good one. Emmanuel AJ says what? A client gets served by a server, and a server is a system that would host service. That is a good one. Not bad, not bad. Okay, I'll take it. At least you've given it a try. People are not talking, you've given it a try. So yes. So Emmanuel and Isaac, thank you very much. Contact us, and then we'll also get you something. Okay, so we'll get you the free course. You don't need to, don't worry if you're not able to voice your voice out on YouTube. You have the chat, and we are monitoring the chat as well. Okay, so when you talk about a server, the name itself explains what it does. It serves. What does it serve? It serves probably pages or files, whatever resource you need. The server is there to serve. Who is the client? The client is there to receive what? Services, or what? A request for services from who? The server. So when we talk about a server is a device or a system that actually would provide services or resources to a client. All right. A client is what? A system or a computer, maybe a computer, a software that actually what? Request for services. All right. That request for services. So that is basically a client. That is basically a server. Okay. So we've spoken about protocols. Protocols. All right. A set of rules that are used by two systems. All right, because they understand it. Okay, so example of protocols are FTP protocol, SSH protocol, which is used for remote logins, and we have FTP protocol, which is used for file transfer, among others. We have file share, very good. We have HTTP protocol and HTTPS protocol, which is used to serve what? Web pages. All right, so that is just example of protocols, among others. So let's look at the next section.
How about TCP?
Very good. TCP, very good. All right. TCP.
VoIP.
Voice over IP. VoIP. Example. Very good. That is also good. VoIP. So we can see here now HTTP, HTTPS used for serving web pages. Telnet, SSH. They are used for remote logins. Okay. They are used for remote logins. They are used for remote logins. Okay, so FTP, FTP is basically the same, but one is secure, one is not. They are also used for file transfer. TCP is a three-way handshake, a stateful protocol, and UDP is a stateless protocol. Okay, we are not going deeper into that yet. Okay, so that is an example of protocols. Now you did it. We have a simple exercise. So far, how many people have we given code rest to? So far, let's see. We have given to 5 people. Now we are going to do a simple exercise. We are going to network with each other. All right. Are you guys ready? YouTubers, are you ready? We are going to network with each other. It's just a 5 minutes work. All right. A 5 minute exercise. A 5 minutes exercise. A 5 minutes exercise. This is what we are going to do. First of all, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
YouTubers, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see us.
Obvious.
We are going to network together, okay? So we need you to connect with us. Go to Instagram, go to YouTube, and go to LinkedIn. On YouTube, subscribe and click the bell. Don't worry, we are bringing content there for you. Free content, very good. We're gonna start putting very good content there for you. LinkedIn, if you have LinkedIn, and it's important to have one, just follow us. Instagram, like our page and follow as well. Okay, they're just giving 5 minutes. The new followers, we are actually going to just the new followers. We will send you a number. Just send your followership. Those people to send us early get. We are giving 10 free slots now. Okay, in fact, 10 or more. Okay, free slots now. It may be up to 50. Who knows? All right. You have so much
LinkedIn or what?
Somebody wants a link? Okay. Let me get you a link.
LinkedIn.
Yes, LinkedIn. Just go type Educate Africa. You find us. YouTube, just type Educate Africa Ghana. Or in fact, those on the YouTube, you're already streaming on YouTube. So just like our YouTube page. All right. Just like our YouTube page.
Please, what about those of us who are already following?
All right. Those following, don't worry. You've been a faithful follower. Just for the person who just said following, just what is your name?
Terry Richard Gama.
Terry Richard. So Terry Richard, don't worry, you've been a faithful follower. We'll give you something. All right. So the challenge is on. 5 minutes. It's a 5 minutes break. Let's connect and we'll get back to cybersecurity itself. Now from here we are starting with cybersecurity. So please get ready.
Please, I'm done.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hello.
I just followed on LinkedIn. My name is Ruben Kelvin Doku.
I was already.
I'm also Lawrence Prempon Jr. I just followed.
I started following since morning. I'm Dominic Kwanzaa.
You have only you've only uploaded 3 videos on YouTube.
All right, so guys, thank you very much. Those on YouTube, don't worry. We have videos that we have actually put on hidden because we are yet to actually make it visible for you. Okay, so don't worry, you'll find content there later as we are going by. We'll make it exposed for you. Now, if you have just liked the page, I want you to download this number. Send your screenshot to these numbers. Send your screenshot to 02024 486 5851 and 15. Sorry. Let me say it again. 024 486 5815. 15. So it's going to be typed in the Zoom link and in the Zoom and then the YouTube for you, okay? All right, so yes, the time is up. We move to Cybersecurity 101, the main juice for now. Up next, Cybersecurity 101, and people are already excited. So, introduction to cybersecurity. Understanding computer security and hacking. Introduction to cybersecurity. If you are ready, just give me a hand. If you're on YouTube, just say I am. Just say I am. If you're on Zoom, just give me a hand. All right. I'm still waiting for hands. YouTubers, I'm still watching you for I am. The keyword I am. All right. Cybersecurity 101. What are we going to do here? We're going to look at cybersecurity. What is cybersecurity? Certain myths of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity careers, domains. We're also going to look at certain things like ethical hacking, which is a career in cybersecurity. And then we'll tip off with some little demo, which Kimberly is supposed to have. If she's ready, we'll hold a demo. If not, we hold a second demo, which will actually to try to explain social engineering to you all, okay? Social engineering to you all, okay? So let's start. What is cybersecurity? Now, forget everything you're seeing on the screen. What is cybersecurity? When we talk about cybersecurity, all right, it's just basically the practice of protecting information systems, all right, which is inclusive of human beings, all right, from attacks or computer attacks or digital and malicious users. Okay, so protecting critical systems, all right, and data from attacks and threats. Now, what kind of attack can be actually used against your data or your IT systems, and what are some of the threats? We'll have a look at that later. Okay, so computer security analysts are committed to protecting your information systems, your computer, which is also part of an information system, and in fact, your people, if you are in an organization. Okay, so day in, day out, security analysts or people who are in any career in security are battling with cyber criminals. And who are cyber criminals? People who actually commit digital attacks or who actually attack information systems using IT systems. Okay, using IT systems. Now, most often people actually confuse cybersecurity with something we call physical security, which are two different things, can be fused into the other. We are not talking about physical security, we're talking about cybersecurity, all right? Digital security in that sense, all right? Physical security has to do with you be able to protect a perimeter from physical attacks, all right? Physical attacks. So let's look at some thoughtful questions. Why do cyber criminals bother to attack though? Because, hey, it's illegal. When we talk about cybersecurity, you attacking any system is illegal, all right? Whenever you attack any system, it's illegal. So why would a cyber criminal, we've spoken about who a cyber criminal is, why would a cyber criminal bother to attack any system through illegal means? Think about this question. We'll come back. What kind of attack and threats are we talking about here? When we talk about threats and attacks on information system, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We'll come back to this question. We'll answer it later as we go on, all right? So I've explained cybersecurity. Cybersecurity basically is the practice of protecting critical information systems from attacks. Hope you understood. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Now I'm going to show you a simple hacking scenario. This guy here with a hoodie is a hacker or a malicious user. This guy here is somebody sitting on the internet. Well, let's see what happens. Now, a hacker basically performs or carries out his hacking events or hacking activities, spread Trojans. We'll come to what Trojans are, or let me say basic term everybody knows, virus, or malware or the internet, this guy here who wants a free software installs a software that is what infected with this virus, downloads it over the internet, and his computer guess what? Hooked up to this virus. This virus actually what? Siphons all his credit cards information and very personal data, all their personal data to the hacker over the internet. All right. The hacker just put on these threats, which is like viruses, over the internet, attach it to softwares. Somebody who is actually innocent goes and what? Installs this software and what? He is hooked up. So this software that actually have viruses are malicious softwares. Okay, and that is how a hacker basically will steal certain things like credit card. We'll have a look at these things. We'll have a look at these things. Just stay with us. We'll have a look. We'll have a physical demo of it. All right, a real demo of, let me say, a real demo of it before we finish, and I will explain everything to you. Okay, I will explain everything to you. So let's talk about cybersecurity industries and domains. Now, what are cybersecurity industries? What are cybersecurity domains? And why is domain important? And do all cybersecurity domains require programming knowledge? And what or which domain is best to start with? Okay, which domain is best to start with? So let's move on. Cybersecurity domains. Okay. So when we talk about cybersecurity, please pay attention. When we talk about cybersecurity, it's a broad field or a broad domain. Okay. You can have somebody doing hacking. You can have somebody doing protection or defending and somebody attacking. You can have somebody not even doing the two. He's just what observing and what ensuring that practices are the best practices are put in place. Okay, so we have different cybersecurity domains in there. All right. So if somebody says, "Hey, I want to go into cybersecurity," and he just jump right in. He doesn't what take the time to understand these domains. Take the time to review these domains. We are not going to explain the domains in that, but we want you to just know that these domains are there. The first domain, there are about 8 domains available. All right. There are security and risk. We'll talk about risk. All right. What do we mean by risk? We want to actually understand what risk means. What is risk? What is risk? What is a risk, guys? All right, the person who raises his hands can talk. All right, let me just allow them to talk. All right, you can unmute yourself. What is a risk?
A risk is the potential.
Okay.
Risk is the potential a threat or exposure to a vulnerability.
Okay, very good. That's good. Potential damage or threats. That's good.
A risk is anything that has potential of harm.
Come again.
A risk is anything that has potential of harm.
Very good. A risk is anything that has potential of harm. Anything that has potential of harm. So you actually managing this risk is also a domain in security, cybersecurity. Okay. So there are people who actually are specialized in what? Managing risk. What is the risk of going by this word policy? What is the risk of installing this kind of software? What is the risk of creating a network in this way? What is the risk of putting in the systems? What is the risk of putting, let's say, security people here and not there? Okay, there are people who are specialized in this domain. They are called risk managers. All right. So the you managing this risk is what? Risk management, security, and risk management. Now we have asset security. What is asset? Well, basically it's a property. So when you're in a company, your asset may be your employees, your data, most importantly. All right. So how do you protect these informations? All right. This is what is entailed in this domain, asset security. Now we have security engineering. Now, this part of it is like you actually what? Building up security systems. It may be by coding them.
Sir.
All right. It may be by coding them.
Sir.
Yeah, hello.
Can the asset security be like confidentiality?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
I was asking if the asset security can be confidentiality.
I'm really finding it low.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Okay, please type your question for me. Okay, please type your question for me.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So we also have what? Communication and network security. Communication and network security. Basically, they specialize what this domain actually what entails what? Security in a network. You have set up a network. You have set up what? A network. And how do you protect the network, or how do you protect the devices in this network? This is what network security is all about. And this is where you actually go deeper into in that domain, network security. When we go to identity and access management, we are talking about who have access to what. All right. And I think somebody was saying something about confidentiality. I didn't really hear though. We'll ask your question again. But hey, if it's confidentiality you were really asking, then it's going to fall into identity and access management. Okay, so who has access to what? Which kind of people, which group of people can have access to this data, and who doesn't have access to this data? Who can perform this action and who cannot perform this action? All right, that is what we delve deeper into when we talk about identity and access management. For example, in a company, you don't give critical information to the security guy. You give critical information to the executive officer or the managers. All right. So identity and access management is still delving deeper into who have access to what and who can do what. Security assessment and testing. This is where it gets juicy and most of you are interested in, that you may find yourself in, which is like ethical hacking, performing security assessment on systems like on the network, on computers, on services running, on even the infrastructure, okay, with its policies. All right. So you may find that, hey, you're actually doing something like ethical hacking. All right. You are involved in what? Security assessment and testing. Security operations, similar to security assessment and testing, but actually you are delving into the operation, security in all the daily activities of maybe an organization. All right. The operations that are involved in an organization, how secure are you looking at it? All right. You will find somebody like SOC analyst who is actually monitoring daily activities or let's say data flowing in and out of the network of an organization, and then what ensuring that what somebody doesn't what just enter the system. Software development and security, or software development security. Now, this is involved in what? Software security. How secure is your code? How secure is your software? Can your software be easily modified? All right, you look at these in software development security, and where you actually delve deeper into, you actually need to have at least some knowledge of coding. Okay, you have to have some knowledge of coding to delve into this section or this domain of cybersecurity. So we've spoken about all the domains of cybersecurity. All right, security and risk management, asset security, security engineering, communications and network security, identity and access management, security assessment and testing, security operations, software development security. These are the domains of security. So next time you say, I want to go into cybersecurity, you need to know which domain are you starting with or which domain are you specializing in. If you want to go into security and risk management, then you need to know what you are diving into. You need to know what you are learning. If you're going into identity and access management, you need to know what you are supposed to focus on. Then you build up from there. Now, mind you, they are all connected. because hey, security is one family. All right. So if you want to go to security assessment and testing, then you know that hey, you are going to ethical hacking, you are going to what? Network defending, which if you want to go into network security. All right. So these are the security domains we have. Let's go to the next slide and talk about security industries. All right. Now, security industry basically is a group of companies that are what? Related based. All right. When we talk about industries, a group of companies that are related based. Now, in security, any industry needs you. All the industries need you. From monetary industry, computer systems industry, industries that are in telecommunications, even in health, they need you. Well, somebody wants to protect his money. Somebody wants to protect his data. Somebody wants to even protect his health data. Do you understand? So when we talk about the cybersecurity industries, they are the industries or a group of companies that are related based upon their primary business activity. What is their business activity? We talk about the telecom, what are their basic activity or their primary activity? Communication, network. All right. So these are cybersecurity industries. So I said that all industries, in fact, need you as a security personnel. All right, because security is important in anything. In anything, you would want to lock your door because you want to stay secure. Okay, and that's even security, physical security. Okay, so we want to talk about some dangerous myths in cybersecurity, which we really need to touch on. Now, there are lots of these security myths, but we are going to touch on very few. All right, very few. Now, number one is cyber criminals are outsiders. Somebody think that hey, the cyber criminal is an outsider, he's not around me, he's somebody somewhere else on the internet. Okay, so I don't know him. In fact, you know something, the cyber criminal may be the next person to you. The cyber criminal may be somebody who even works with you. They may leak information out there. All right, these are also potential cyber criminals. So they are not necessarily outsiders. They may be close to you. There's something called insiders, where somebody who is inside a system or inside an organization leaks an information out to somebody else. Or in fact, somebody inside hacks a system because he understands the systems better. Now, another myth is risks are well known. Somebody says, hey, I know all the risks are around this. You do not know all the risks. All right, you do not know all the risks. The fact that you have actually found some risks doesn't mean that you've discovered all the risk. Do you understand? Doesn't mean you've discovered all the risk. So not all the risks are well known. Day in, day out, new vulnerabilities come out and new exploits are developed. All right, we'll talk about that. New vulnerabilities come out, new threats, new ways of attacking systems are being developed. So you do not know it all. Okay, so do not have that mindset that you know it all. Even the best companies that actually boast of it have been attacked before. So risks are not well known sometimes. Okay, now attack vectors are contained. Attack vectors are contained. Somebody thinks that, hey, because this person actually had just this system, he can't get access to that system. You don't know it very well because, hey, think about this. If somebody hacked your system, got access to your credentials, and you use that same credentials for another system, what makes you think that it is just contained in that system that was hacked, but it cannot be pivoted onto another system? All right. So attacks are not always contained. All right. So you need to know your assets. You need to know what you are protecting and ensure that you actually find out if they also have been attacked. Then we talk about my industry is safe. My industry is safe. Well, somebody says, well, I am in the health sector, especially those in Ghana. So who will need my health data? Find out that in other countries who are well developed, their health security is very, very well taken off. All right. They actually ensure that they actually protect the data of their patients. In fact, some of the systems they use are critical systems, critical IT systems. And if they go down, it can cause a lot of issues. All right. There was one incident that an organization, in fact, most of the hospitals in a particular country was affected. Actually, the systems were affected with malware, ransomware, which actually prevented anyone from accessing the system, and patients kept piling up in numbers. All right. So every industry needs security. Every industry needs security. Think about whatever it is, you need security. All right. Now, another one is I need to be a programmer to be in security. I didn't write it here because we'll talk deeper into it. I need to be a programmer to go into security. You do not necessarily need to be a programmer to enter security or to start security or to start learning security. Not all the domains of the security, not all domains of cybersecurity needs programming. Example, risk assessment, information, identity and access management. You do not need security. Do you understand? You do not need to have, you do not need security, you do not need programming, sorry. You do not need programming to enter those domains of cybersecurity. All right. So somebody says, I do not know math, I do not know programming, so I can enter cybersecurity. No, you do not necessarily need programming to enter some of the domains in security. And mind you, some of these domains pay very well. Okay, they also do pay very well. All the domains do pay, right? They all do pay well. Okay, they do. Somebody was saying something? Okay. So let's look at common threats. Now let's look at threats. Now threats actually what anything that pose anything that actually can actually be used against you. Okay. Anything that can be, give me a minute. My system is misbehaving now. Guys, give me a minute. Let me just switch my system here. Okay. Now, we are talking about threats now. We spoke about threats. We spoke about threats. We even gave an illustration of how a hacker can use these threats to actually hack you, all right? To actually access your data and take away, to actually basically steal your credentials, your credit cards, any other data you actually have. So threats act as what threats performed by individuals with harmful intent. Okay, they are performed by individuals to actually cause harm. This harm may be loss of data, all right, or in fact financial loss. The goals of threats is actually to steal data and cause damage or disrupt systems. Okay, so that's what cyber threats are. So let's look at some of the cyber threats. Malware. Now, malware is any malicious software that actually do something different from what they actually are supposed to be doing. So you install, let's say, a game. Okay, you are playing the game, all right, but behind the scene, the game might be giving access to somebody outside your network to actually access your system remotely. When we say remotely, the person is outside your network or out of range. All right. So it may give somebody access into your network. When we talk about social engineering is actually what? Tricking somebody into doing something for you. And these things can cause harm, sometimes to the person or to a lot of people. Insider threat, you have a company or you are a group of people, somebody who is within you, who understand the system very well, actually will actually start to penetrate the systems or attack the systems from inside. All right, just like the Trojan war, where they actually enter the city and they destroy the city from inside out. Okay, so inside out threats are specialized in doing this. So they come among you, they sit among you, they are with you, and they get to understand you better. Once they understand you better, they start to attack. Now, denial of services or distributed denial of service attack. Supposing you want to access Google, what is this threat? What kind of threat is this? You want to attack Google. What happens is this. Sometimes you try to click on Google, get to Google, and you see that no service. Most especially those in Kenya who try to access, or those in your universities try to access some network resources like hostels applications on the network, and you say, hey, it's not accessible. All right. Sometimes these actually what caused by certain devices called botnets. All right. So there are a group of devices which will actually coordinate an attack against a server. All right. A server basically providing service. So there may be 2 or more systems, sometimes counting to millions. All right. Sending unsolicited signals to a particular system that is providing service, and probably shutting the system down and preventing legitimate users from accessing those services. And that is what we call distributed denial of service attack. Now, advanced persistent attack is that when a user mostly has actually compromised your system, they want to stay in there for long enough. So they will persist in there by using certain things like Trojans, backdoors in your system. Okay, they want to stay there as long as possible. And those things are very, very, very tricky. It's sometimes very hard to see them. Keyloggers to actually see your password that you are typing, and they can easily enter your system as well, or use those same credentials somewhere else that you have used. Now, man in the middle attacks, this is when somebody sits in the middle on the network, listens for information flowing on the network, and then gathers this information. It may be credentials, credit cards, anything important. He actually takes them down, and then use it later. Sometimes he may not even allow you to even access whatever you are trying to access. He may actually be the one to forward your data to whoever you were sending it to. So if you are sending credentials on the network, they will sit in the middle, all right, and sniff on the data. They will sniff on the data. Okay, so if they are sniffing, they will see your usernames, your passwords, they will see your credit card details, they will see your browsing details, all right, and anything important that they need, they might see. And how do you do that? How do you protect it? You protect it by using encryptions, SSL. That's why we say it's important to visit sites that are SSL encrypted, that are using SSL or TLS, secured websites that you see this locked on them. Okay, but sometimes now this website even can be malicious. All right, even can be malicious. So that are common threats we have had a look at. Common threats we've had a look at. Before we move to cybersecurity careers, it's much in depth now. I would like to take questions here before I move to the next session. I would like to take questions here. Any question? Any question up to this point?
So from the presentations before, someone asked, can the asset security be confidentiality? Can asset security? Yes.
No. So yes, asset security does confidentiality will not fall under asset. Okay, it will fall under identity and access management. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you too. The next question: can a hacker still find your locations when you are using a VPN?
Well, they can. You know, Though VPN sometimes marks out your real location, if you are using a software that has been compromised or you are having an already compromised system and you are still using a VPN, then what is the use? Sometimes your data is leaked outside the VPN. All right, not all your data is channeled through the VPN tunnel. Okay, and sometimes this data that are not being channeled through the VPN tunnel can actually leak out your real IP address. Sometimes too, the VPN provider or service provider would actually sell your data out. Okay, they can also sell your data out. So it's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, thank you. So the next question reads, what certifications do I need to become a network security engineer?
All right, that's a very good question. We'll come there. I'll answer your question when we get to introducing you to which certifications to go for and some of the certifications we are offering you. All right. So please stay put. So you can go for, let me say it ahead of time, you can go for something called CND Certified Network Defender, which will give you the foundation you need and help you to actually protect network systems. Okay, I'll go in depth into that at the latter part. Okay, the latter part. Any last question? I'm taking one from YouTube. I'm taking last one from YouTube. Okay. Somebody says what? What are the white and black did the person say cat? No, not cat. So the person wants to say what does or where does black and white hat hackers fall? So white hat hackers are hackers that actually what use their security skills to protect an IT system, and the black hat hackers do completely opposite. They are also equally skilled as the white hackers. Okay, so one uses it for good, one uses it for bad. All right, so that is all for questions that I'll take for now. Time is fast spent. The next one I will take is cybersecurity careers. So let's look at some of the cybersecurity careers. Example is data protection officer, who is specializing in what? Data protection. Cybercrime investigator, who is specialized in what? In investigating cyber activities and hacking activities or system that have been hacked. They investigate who did what, who had access to what, and who actually what? Compromised the system. Malware analysts, they actually go in depth into analyzing source code of malicious softwares and finding malwares and debugging these malwares. Security analysts, they are into protecting the information systems of companies. They range from SOC analyst to a computer security analyst or to an auditor. All right. So penetration tester or ethical hacking, a very interesting one where most of you seem to be interested in. They actually, penetration tester or ethical hacking is specialized in what? Breaking systems legally and providing what? Reports and solutions to these systems. Okay, so a hacker would just actually what? Try to bypass the security of a system or break the security of a system, and then they will try to what? Recommend fixes for these breaches. All right, so if I'm a hacker, I can come, break into your system, and then I tell you, hey, this and this and this and this are the loopholes. Fix them this and this way. I recommend you to do it this way. Right? They do that by providing what? Something called reports. There are more of the careers you can find. We'll give you the link, cybercareers.gov. You can find more careers there and read more about them. All right. So let's go on to a demo time. Let's go to a demo time. So now is the time I'm going to explain to you something little. I had to go deeper, but because time is fast spent, I'm going to be very fast as possible. I'm going to share a link, okay? I'm going to share a simple link, and I'll leave you guys to actually try and use it. All right, let's go from here. Let me stop sharing my screen first of all. Okay, so for the demo, guys, we will skip the demo for today. Okay, we will have a separate session where we'll go in depth for the demo because of time. We are far behind time, so the demo will not come off right now. We'll actually do a separate webinar for just demo. Just attend, that will be just for an hour. We'll explain everything to you, and then we can move from there. Okay, we'll make the link available to you as soon as possible. Okay, so let's move from there. Well, I hope you love security for now. I would like to take about 3 more questions on security before I introduce you to which certifications you need to introduce yourself to. Okay. Any question from the YouTubers and the Zoom users or attendees? Any question?
So from previous presentations, someone asked, how do I get the Kali Linux? Yes, how do I get the Kali Linux? That's the question.
All right, so download it from kali.org. Okay, just go to kali.org. You'll find the download link there. You can download it from there, okay?
Thank you. And the next question reads, why didn't you just do echo, then in quotes, this is a file.txt.
Okay, so I told you earlier that Linux see those spaces as separations, okay? So I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be one word. So I put it in those quotes, okay, for it to see it as one word, all right?
Please, these would be all the questions for now.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's look at why not join security trainees, okay? Now, we spoke about certifications, we spoke about domains of security. We are speaking about 8 domains in security that you can join, all right? 8 domains that you can join, and that you don't need programming for all of them. But somebody even asked, which certification do I need to take if I want to go into network security? One, we can start with something called Certified Network Defender. We also have Certified Ethical Hacker. What is it? What do we do? What do we teach you? Now, I'll give you a caution ahead of time. These certifications are not for boys, all right? You need to actually put in effort. You need to actually ask questions. You need to go and the extra mile. So Certified Ethical Hacker is a certification from EC Council. EC Council is an international body that actually issues these certifications. What do you do in Certified Ethical Hacker? You learn to have the mindset of a hacker. You learn the methodologies hackers go through to actually penetrate a system or to hack a system. You go through demos, you go through live scenarios, you go through live hacking scenarios, you go through live hacking quizzes, and you also be assigned real machines on the internet, and you will be given the opportunity to hack these systems. Now, the end of this is not just to learn hacking, but to be a security analyst or to go into penetration testing and ethical hacking. Once you're able to complete this training, okay, once you're able to go through this certified ethical hacker training, you will sit for an international exams, which once you go through successfully, you become an ethical hacker. What can you do with these certifications? You can become a penetration tester. You can become a security analyst, a vulnerability tester, similar to penetration tester. You can go into red teamer, which extend a little bit from just ethical hacking. You can also go into risk assessment. You can do a lot of things with just these certifications, and most companies also would look out for these certifications. All right, it's important you have them. These certifications verify that you've gone through the framework or you've gone through the training to understand principles used by hackers. Okay, so if you go through them, they mean that you can be able to what? Protect information systems as well. All right. Now, certified network defender. Now, this is a much specialized certification for those who are going into network defending or network security. You will learn all about what a hacker can do to your network. You will learn all about how to protect your network. You will have labs on your networks. You will have systems to protect your networks. You will have physical systems, all right? I mean, we will provide the physical systems to you remotely. You have access to them, set up a lab, and then also simulate these labs to see what can be done to your network. You learn how to actually set up these firewalls, Active Directories, if you don't know what Active Directories are, Windows-based directory system, and you can actually understand how to mitigate risk in networks. Okay, so whilst the hacker is hacking, you are protecting. Okay, now it's good to take the network defender if you don't have any certifications, if you don't have any knowledge in cybersecurity. It's good to take the network defender to understand these defense techniques, and then you can go for the ethical hacking. The ethical hacking is above the certified network defender, all right? Above the certified network defender and much in-depth. Network defender is also in-depth, but it's the foundation if you want to start, all right? So why not join EDUC8 Africa Cybersecurity Training? We are starting our certifications in CEH for short, Certified Ethical Hacker, and Certified Network Defender. We would like to see you there, okay? So why not join in? Now, what do you get when you join these certifications? You get in-depth hacking skills, you get practical labs examples with real-world examples, you get an international certification license if you go through the exam successfully. Now, when we are done, what we are doing nowadays is that we don't leave you to actually just go. We provide continuous mentorship through our community. Currently we have a community called Zero Security on Discord that we actually give access to our students. We actually take you through a foundation course. Then once we are done, we take you through an inner team where you go on with consistent cybersecurity labs and real-world examples, all right, called CTFs. So we provide continuous mentorship to you, right? So these are the things you're going to have. It's going to be about 12 weeks training in total. And we are starting, the applications are starting from September, all right? From September.
Newman, it's not from September, it's from now. It's from now.
So yes, the real class is starting around September, but the applications are open from now till that. All right. So please note, we don't take too many people. It's first come, first serve. So if you don't, if delay in the time, what we do that somebody will have to take your seat. All right. Due to the pressure that comes every time.
How do you apply?
All right. So I will hand over to. All right. So I will hand over to Miss Alexandra, CEO of EDUC8 Africa, and then she will talk to you on that. All right.
So guys, don't you take too much of your time. The next class actually starts in October, early October, but the registration has already started. You have about 6. It's actually partially sponsored, you're given about 70 to 80% off because you are a student. We have companies outside the country that have actually have expressed interest in helping students to be job ready before they join the job market, of which my company is actually part of it, because we were once like you. I always preach on we once like you. So we know how it is. And we also received such, help from others. Okay. So we will share the flyers on the page. If you are interested, you can actually ask all the questions you have to ask in the page. You can actually also try to get through to any of the admins and then ask all the questions you need. Aiden, if you want Newman's number, just pick any of the admins number, you'll be able to get Newman's number. So guys, there are so many opportunities here, because I know that there are a lot of professionals on this page as I'm talking to you, and they know the worth of these certifications. And what you guys are going to be paying is actually peanut. It's not something that actually caters for all. For instance, ethical hacking is roughly $2,500 if you are doing it as a professional, not a student, a professional. If you are doing CND, it's about $1,500. That is if you are doing it as a non-student, okay? So if you're a professional, that is how much you pay. But for students, we are giving you between 70 to 80% sponsorship on this. What are you getting? The international exam voucher to sit for the exams. And currently we have version 12 that I think they'll be launching it in September. So it's coming with a lot of goodies, unlimited retake if you fail. You're getting access to Cyber Range, where you can practice as much as you want. You'll be having Cyber Olympics every month. So they pick a topic like ransomware, and then you guys do a CTF. It's going to be so interesting. You're going to get the courseware, you're going to get the labs for free. All these things, we're going to give it to you. So this, if you're going to quantify it, I don't think we'll finish now. So guys, if you are in, it's normally on weekends. The next class is in October. For those who are in GTCU or GTUC, UCC, and then UPSA, we have a different time for you. But right now, the next class that we have available is in October, first week in October. So if you need more information, please go to the pages and ask all the questions you want to ask. We would please expect some sort of delay. Give us up to within 24 hours to answer all your questions. We will DM it directly to you, so don't worry about it. Thank you so much for your time. Another important thing is that this course course or certification, it's always over the weekend in the evenings. So it doesn't clash with your classes, okay? So please, if you want more information, please go to the pages, the WhatsApp page, and put your questions there. We would answer you within 24 hours, okay? Thank you so much. And guys, you did really great. Those who were able to sit in, you guys are men. As Newman said, CH and CND is not for boys, it's for men. So if you're able to go through this course, without blinking an eye, without going off, without leaving, then you guys are men. If you're a woman in there, you're also a man, just as the Bible, just like the Bible, okay? So you are all, okay, let me use women. You are women, and the guys are men, okay? You did great. Kudos to all of you, and congratulations that you're able to go through the session. Another thing is that from the looks of things, I think Newman, the next class, we should pick the courses individually. So we'll pick Linux and then blow it up so that you can really appreciate it. We'll pick Network Essentials, we'll blow it up so that you can appreciate it. We'll pick the Cybersecurity for Dummies, or just Cybersecurity 101 especially, and then blow it up so that you can really appreciate it. So look out for another class in October, because around this, I think in September, most schools will be writing exams. So look out for another webinar in October, maybe third week in October, okay? Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Over to you, Newman. Thank you so much for giving me the platform.
Thank you, Ms. Alexandra. Thank you very much. So guys, you heard it all right? Well, I am a security guy and I love security. Do you love security now? Yes, I know I do. You do as well. So guys, that's all for today. Thank you very much for staying with us on Cybersecurity 101. It's been a long session, which wasn't supposed to go that long because of our little challenge, but we promise you we'll come better the next time. The next time, as Mr. Alexandra said, we are going to take it just Linux, just networking, just Cybersecurity 101, and just ethical hacking in-depth 101. Okay, and we promise you your demo. We'll show you how to set up a demo lab. We'll show you how to also carry out that same demo. Register for a free domain name, register for anything to hide yourself, and then we move from there. Okay, so thank you. I would like to take any last questions about. I would like to take about 6 questions. Let me make it 6 questions. Okay, 3 from YouTube, 3 from Zoom. All right, so please raise your hand if you have a question, and then I would allow you to talk. Okay, so the first person to actually talk on the Zoom, I'm on the Zoom right now. On the YouTube, just type your question and I'll read it out. So Isa, I see Isa here.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello. Yeah, hello. Hey man, are you there? All right, next person can talk.
Hello.
Actually, I wanted to ask about those of us who answer the question. You were saying we should contact someone.
Okay, so do you see? All right, so do you see the numbers here on the flyer, below the flyer? The WhatsApp number?
Yes, on the flyer, the WhatsApp number, yes.
If I ask you, if I took your name for a code red, please contact that number. Okay. Right? And your number will forward it to me and I'll send it to you personally. Or I'll get you a freebie personally.
Okay, sir.
All right,
Okay,
so
sir,
guys, those also
recording.
Yeah, the recording will be shared. Okay, so guys, we are going to email all of you. We're going to send you a pull list. Please engage in the pull list. All right. Please engage yourself in participate in the pull list, so that we can better serve you. And then also we'll provide a link to the recording for you. Okay. So a link to the recording will be sent to you, and a poll list will be sent to you, and a thank you email will be sent to you for at least attending this webinar. All right. Those also who have subscribed and asked to send the screenshot, send to the WhatsApp number on the flyer, and then those who are quick enough will also get the code red as well. All right. And in fact, we are saying that ask your questions in the group, whatever you want to ask. Mind you that we are taking limited number for the training. This is just for CH. There's also CND. CND is also going for the same date as well as CH. Please ask your questions, and hey, we'll also be sharing code red in there. All right. Thank you very much. Another question, please.
Hello. Newman, can we let them know that the page will be available for a short while, maybe the next 10-15 minutes. So if they want to put in more questions, they can always contact us, contact the admin. Okay, they should put it on the page.
Right. So please,
but we're giving them between 10 to 15 minutes so that we close the group so that they don't kind of disturb others.
Yeah.
So they can put it on the page. But if it's closed, they can always contact the admins. Okay.
All right. So guys, we had it all.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Please, how much is the training?
All right, so that is a question that will be answered by the admins when you contact them, okay?
Okay.
Hello, sir.
All right. Yes, hello.
I wanted to know what is the qualification to enable to be enrolled in the training.
All right, so you need to be first of all, it's a student program, but if you're not a student, you can also enroll. But students actually have a special scholarship available for them. You need to be a student as well. That's not a deal breaker qualification. If you are a worker, you can also take. But you should at least have the fundamentals. If you are going for CH, you should have understand networking. You should understand Linux. You should understand those basic things in security. And if you don't have them, we normally actually hold a pre-class for Linux, a pre-class for networking, a pre-class for Active Directory, and a pre-class for security basics before we start the official class.
And Python.
And Python, thank you. We hold these foundation courses for each and every one because we want everyone to be on the same level before we start. So even if you don't have some of these qualifications, once you are interested, the only qualification we need is you are interested and you are not just coming in for fun. All right. Mind you, you will also be interviewed. Once you see that you are not taking it serious, we actually send a report and you can be taken out. So we want only those who are serious. Mind you, some students have not been serious over time and we didn't proceed with them. All right. So we need you to give that dedication, take it seriously, and we move with that. Okay. So what we need is be serious. That is the qualification we need. We'll
all right.
the
Okay, Mr. Newman. So how do you start with this basic foundation?
So basic foundation, if you are coming for the class, we'll teach you. All right.
And so when is that class starting?
So that class is starting 2 weeks before in October. 2 weeks before the main.
Yeah.
2 weeks before
early part of October.
Yeah. So you need to ensure that you have made your payment early enough. At least some part payment. We don't only take full payment. We take part payment as well, and we can pay in installment over a period of 3 months and more, about 3 to 4 months.
6 months, please.
Yes, 3 to 6 months. That's dependent on when you register. Okay, when you start, if within the 6 months you started paying, when it's left with about 3 months, you have 3 months for yourself. Okay, so the earlier the better. Okay. So
okay, guys. So you see, we have an already made FAQ, what do you call it, booklet, or let's say an ebook. So immediately you express interest on the page, an admin person will get through to you between now in the next within 24 hours. We'll send you all this information that you are asking for at a glance, and you get everything. So don't worry about it. Anything you need to know about the course, you get to know about it. So don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it. Just put your questions in the group. I've opened the group page. Just put your questions in there, and we'll respond ASAP. Trust me, we'll do that. Okay.
All right. Thank you. That's fine.
So somebody's also asking that, hey, I'm a distance student. Well, you're a distance student. That's excellent. Well, our trainings are remote. Okay, you don't need to travel to anywhere. The only time you travel is when you're coming for the main exams. All right, the main exams. Aside that, all the trainings are done from the comfort of your home. Just have good internet service. All right, that's all. And it's on weekends. So yeah, we've taken much questions. YouTubers, do you have any question? I'll take 2 questions from YouTube. Any question from YouTube? Let me see. All right, thank you very much, YouTubers. We are actually going to also connect with you, okay? Mind you, we have more code rest. The meeting, the group is active for about 10 to 15 minutes and then will be activated. Please ask your questions and contact the admins, all right? Thank you very much. Make sure to follow us again for more webinars and more in-depth webinars, and watch your emails for our emails as well, all right? Thank you very much, and then I'll have a wonderful time together.
Nice weekend to you all.
Same here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.